The stunt guys are the backbone of the show.
Those guys were incredible.
Throughout all the seasons and the feature film that we did, they were just amazing.
Nothing that we could do could ever possibly come close to looking as amazing as these stuntmen are.
I mean, I've seen them do things where you would think they'd have on a harness, and there is no harness.
The things that they had to do with those helmets on their head where they could barely breathe and see, and they're doing tumbles and flips. I mean, they were incredible.
First there was one coordinator, then Isaac Florentine came in.
Isaac Florentine did the first few episodes of the first season.
You know, in a 12-hour day, they would schedule 7 hours of blah, 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 and then 4 or 5 hours of huge fight with 5 Power Rangers and 3 monsters. It's virtually impossible to do anything with real style when things are that massive and the time is that low.
We were shooting like 3 episodes in a week. You know, we'd do what we call a cluster, and it would be like a week and a half worth of shooting, you know, and we'd have to do, 3 episodes in that cluster. So they needed a second unit.
He brought in a guy who really knew his stuff, and everything improved.
I went in, sat with Isaac, and he just said to me, Jeff, remember, and we all imitate Isaac, so he would say, remember, snap zoom in, snap zoom out, snap zoom in, snap zoom out. And always, you must shoot. Do not let these kids run around and run all over you. You must shoot.
We were left kind of on our own. Second unit was at the lake, and we were away from everyone else. So we just got to do our thing privately without anybody coming and telling us, you know, you got to do it this way. No, you got like 10 different cooks in the kitchen coming to set. But when we were on Power Rangers, it was Jeff and us.
Let's take care of business.
I brought a group of Japanese together because I had Koichi and the guys that I lived with, and we all worked together on my movie, so I got some of them to come from Japan.
You need your team. Your team is very, very important. It's a collaborative effort.
We had each other's backs. We supported each other. We really liked each other. We wanted to help each other, and we had so much fun, and we were tight. It was like a little family.
Hey, what are you doing?
Working on the show, it's TV, and it's quick, and you bang out scenes like crazy, and you don't have much rehearsal time.
On the show, we just banged it out. We banged it out there. We're professionals. We're pros, you know. And we had a fantastic coordinator who was extremely creative and just got things done miraculously quick.
We would shoot maybe 70 to 100 setups with a single camera every day. Go, 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 go. And thanks to Sean McLean, the director of photography, he was able to do all of that. So whatever, no matter what I said, how stupid, how crazy, and I'm going to put a harness on you, I'm going to lift you up, and he'd be like, we can do it. And he would just do it, you know. It was amazing.
We had 15, 20 minutes to put it all together, and then we're going to film it.
I would tell the guys who were going to be the putties that day, I would say, okay, go and think of something really funny to make an appearance. And they would go off and every day they had to think of something. We had like a challenge. And I would tell each ranger, because by that time the stunt team, each stunt member knew the suit they were, the pose they were supposed to do. Everyone had it down. And I would say, okay, pick out a combination. Each one of you make up your own combination. And then I would bring them together, see what they had, and then I would choreograph the fight, mixing in all my stunts and action and camera work and everything I wanted to edit together and try to make something new every day.
We all enjoyed it. You know, it was, for us, it was like training, working out together. You couldn't ask for a better scenario.
It was great because I got to double Amy Jo Johnson as the person, the actress, and then I'd go jump in the suit. And so I'd go do that, and then it was, hey, go be a putty. And which was fun because you really hone your skills taking reactions, gnarly reactions, you know, and just watching the guys. I'm a mimicker. I like to watch. If I see it, I'm like I can figure out how to do it or just chuck it. And it was like my college. I learned so much, and every day was always different. And I really liked that because you never got bored.
every day I would get tapes of the show, and we would have all the Japanese footage to try to figure out what I could use.
He would show us clips that we would be taking the episode from.
They were awesome. I was like, wow, those guys are great.
So I figured, okay, let's merge our American fast, Hong Kong fast style, mix that together with what the Japanese are doing and make our own thing. And it's similar to Japan, but a little bit different too, a little bit extra.
And also we need to see how, you know, the poses that they were using, so we could have a similar style and a similar flavor and that kind of animated feel.
There was a thing that's very Japanese, kind of like stiff acting, you know, like that. And you got to be very sharp movements and look and talk. So when I brought the Japanese over, I had them do that, and then the American guys imitated them.
We would have to like practice a run and then, all right guys, let's do it, go. You know, we have to do a lot of animation with our helmets on. And so that was like really the only training, is really got to learn how to move like a Power Ranger, because in a helmet you can't just run up and go, all right guys, let's go. Because when you do ADR, it doesn't look good. So everything's got to be animated.
I've had my fill of this monster.
Me too. Let's sit and pack.
Yeah.
Great. Let's do it, guys.
There was some issues in Washington that came up regarding violence on children's television. And suddenly Fox wanted us to relook at all the episodes. We already had like 13 of them done. So we went back and very quickly re-edited 13 or 15 episodes in order to reduce the amount of contact that the putty patrollers were having with the Rangers, take out any shots that might indicate like a roundhouse to the head.
They said, no more hitting in the face. They think we're violent. So you can do all kinds of action, but don't punch anyone, don't kick anyone in the face.
And we'd already made the decision the Rangers would only fight monsters, and only if they were attacked. So the monsters would always have to escalate the fight.
Every morning I would get up, go to the set, and just sit there, look around, and just start making little doodles. I do little storyboards, and I would think of new ways to, how can we flip, fly, crash, kick, spin, and never actually hit anyone in the face. We knew that the show changed uniforms every season, and when the show was going to continue, they thought, okay, well, let's get them to shoot some extra footage in Japan of the uniforms and this and that. But some of the stuff they sent to us had weapons and things like that, and we, you know, it was like we couldn't really use it. So we used some bits of it, and then we started shooting more and more. And then finally they just stopped doing that and just sent us the monster suits after, and we used the footage of the monsters.
It's one thing to see the monsters on film and they look fantastic and stuff like that, but when you're at Lake Castaic and it's noon and the guy that you just had lunch with is in the suit, and then they put all this gel on them, and then you go outside and then you start fighting them, it's so surreal, it's so odd, but so fantastic.
Being a monster was not easy. Some of those suits, I mean, and they were hilarious, right? And so we're cracking up and we're trying to not laugh, and you know, I'm in this thing and I'm trying to, you can't see, and you know, you can barely hear sometimes, and you can't breathe, and it's hot, and you got to fight, and you, you know, it's just, it was such a challenge to be a monster. But I'm like, if I can be this monster, I can do anything.
We always ended up in the putty suits, and me and Bridget, you know, we're the girls, so we have to do certain things to pass as a putty. But so did the guys. We all did, and it was just a behind-the-scenes joke about that.
It was hilarious being a putty, because sometimes Isaac would be like, Brigitte, you foreground. And so I'd just run across camera, run across, and then get around in the back, because we needed lots of putties. They'd just recycle us, and then we'd go fight somebody. And you didn't have to have continuity too much, because it was like all the putties all looked the same. It was good times. It was hilarious being a putty.
I guess I was wrong about it being too quiet around here.
One thing about stunt guys is they have a tendency to be, yes, sir. What do you want? Yes, sir. What? I need you to go up on that rock. We're going to put the pad here, and then after you hit the pad, we're going to pull the pad away, and I'm going to tilt down. I want you to roll off the pad and lay there. Okay, yes, sir. And then do it. And as soon as we did it, okay, want me to do it again, sir? Yes, sir. Go ahead. And that's how it is with the stunt guys. But with the actors, sometimes, and this is all across Hollywood, or it becomes a thing of, do we have to do this again? Oh, you know, it's different, except for the martial arts guys like Jason Frank, Austin, Walter. They were stunt guys practically.
We did a lot of plain clothes fight scenes too, and they were actually really cool. They were just like, you know what do you want to do?
They really judged our skills and let us kind of give our input, at least, into the fight scenes that we were doing. I know for all the guys that were truly martial artists, the stunt coordinator listened to them quite a bit.
What I learned a lot with stunts is it's a lot like dancing. It's like choreography.
It was really challenging to try to come up with new dance steps that I could incorporate into fighting, and then flipping, and you know, having two putties come from here and I'm duck under here and hit him, and then I'm flip over this guy, and it was very Jackie Chan-ish, which was exciting to me.
Didn't come from a fighting background, so wherever I could incorporate my gymnastics, they would definitely let me do that, and then they would say, okay, and then let's put a fight in here, and they would show me what to do.
Those guys are amazing. So I can't do the kinds of things that they can do. I can like do the splits and like, a back bend.
They were very open to let me do what I wanted to do. And so that's why I did a lot of famous jump kicks. I was like the first guy to do those jump spinning crescent kicks on TV from years ago. I watched an episode with me doing like about 6 of them. I can do about like 2 or 3 now, but but it was cool. I was able to do a lot of my own stuff.
This is a little story about Jason Frank. He would come a little bit early, and I don't know if the other guys even know this or not, but I'm telling him now. He would come a little bit early, and he would say, Pruitt, let me do the big stunt, man. Let me do the big stunt. And we'd go, well, I was going to have Austin do that. And he'd say, no, man. I think the kids would like to see me do it. Yeah, they really like it. He was super fast, hyper all the time. We go, okay, all right, you do this stunt. So every day he would show up, and I would have some Jason Frank thing for him to do, and he was just so energetic and hyper.
When I first came to the series, the karate fight scenes, I kind of took it a little bit too real until the stunt guys were like, man, welcome to Hollywood. And I was like, oh, so we got to pull our punches. In martial arts, we're training to do this, so I had to pull punches.
I broke one of their noses, and I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to do it. It was, he moved forward, I moved back. It happened.
All the actors on the show, I mean, let's face it, they were young. You could not keep some of them quiet, so they were fantastic. All the actors they were friends.
They were so cool, and they liked, the stunt people, and it was just really neat because you don't always get that.
It wasn't like there was them and there was us. We all ate lunch together, we all shared stories, they joked around a lot, and often, they'd have to come to second unit and they'd have to do their pieces. So we would all be working together at times, and that was a lot of fun.
I have a lot of respect for those guys, and I learned a lot. So by the time I left the show, I was like a lot more flexible. I knew what I was doing a little bit more. I could fall from 20, 30 feet. So it was fun.
They used to really help me. I mean, Nakia and I were both dancers. Karen was a dancer. Amy Jo was a gymnast, so she was a little more used to flipping and stuff. But, I mean, they would show us things and make us look good.
It was such a benefit to be able to train with these amazing stuntmen and learn how to fight and do things. It's totally helped me in other roles.
Like everybody, we're just all trying to get along and make a great product and have a blast doing it.
It was fun because we were all young. The energy of the cast and the stunt team, we were just kids playing.
The whole vibe of us all being on the same page and all having a love of martial arts. We were just young and free and just having a lot of fun.
They really watched out for our safety all the time. I was never injured doing the show. And I believe Narvi was injured about 8,000 times by a falling fat guy. No, I don't think I know.